This is Bethany. She's been a lifetime friend of mine. We met in high school and have basically just lived in and out of each other's life since. All right, let's go. What do you want to talk about today? What's been going on?
Money. I let my brother borrow a lot of money, and it pushed me to the point where I had to ask my dad to borrow money again for the first time in over a year, because I let my brother borrow so much that I ran myself dry.
Can I ask what your brother needed?
Him and his roommate weren't working. They both quit their jobs and were in the transition point of finding a new job. They do have new jobs, but he needed help with food, bills, gas, rent. And every time he asked, I sent him money because I live in his house rent free.
So it kind of to you felt like an obligation.
Yes.
He lets you live there rent free, so if he needs money when he's in trouble, you'll do it for him.
Exactly.
Okay. How did asking your dad for money make you feel?
It sucked. I hate having to ask him because I know he doesn't have it either.
Because your dad's in nursing school, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
I'm very proud of him for that. So I can see where you get a little stressed from asking both of them for money.
Yeah.
What is the plan working out paying back your father while you getting paid back? Have you all talked about that?
My brother is paying me when he gets the bigger checks that don't have a bill coming out of them, like $100. He's already paid me back $100. Still owes $500.
Where we left off, your brother borrowed money from you, which left you a little depleted, so you had to ask your father, who's in nursing school and doesn't have a lot of money, for help.
Mm-hmm.
I also understand you have a boyfriend.
Yes.
You are also helping him with rent.
Yes.
So managing money seems to be a real big stressor in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me a little bit about your budgeting?
There isn't any budgeting because during the pandemic I was getting all the unemployment, and that recently stopped. And when it stopped is when my brother started asking me for help. So what I had saved from all the unemployment, I used to help him. And I was using the cash that I got every day from work to buy stuff for myself and like groceries and stuff like that. And everything that was in my account would go towards my bills and whatever. Sending Austin the rent or helping Cam. And after a month it was gone because Cam borrowed $600 and I had to send $385 to Austin.
And then you work as a server.
Mm-hmm.
Have you considered budgeting out how much you would need to make a shift in order to help you, or what?
Yeah, if I make over, say like 110 a day, I am perfectly fine and I have all of my bills covered. I can do fun stuff, eat, no problem.
Okay.
But the last 2 weeks have been extremely slow during the week, and that's when I'm scheduled. So like today I made $70.
How do you feel when you leave your shifts and they're not quite at that 110 marker?
Stressed, sad, because it's like, could I have had somebody go home sooner and made an extra $10 off of 2 tables? But there were 6 of us on the floor, 2 of them were still training, and I had maybe 7 tables the whole entire day because nobody was coming in. We were just,
It's a weekday and
yeah,
everyone's working.
yeah. And when you're the closer, you miss the first morning rush, and that's what I was scheduled as. So that morning rush that they had, I missed out on like 2-3 more tables.
So with that being said, that you're not working the early morning, so you miss those couple extra tables, and that wondering what more you could have pushed for in your shifts, correct? How do you plan on making up what you've missed for this shift?
So Wednesdays I always have the same group of guys, and they tip me really, really well. Like, they are my table. They come in and ask for me every single Wednesday. I have them tomorrow, so they'll boost me up a little bit. And Wednesdays tend to be a little bit better, so I can make up the extra. Or I have to wait until Saturday when it's the weekend and I have a section and it's a lot busier. Then on Saturdays I walk with over 200 usually.
And that can normally cover what you've missed during the week? That's good. That's really good. That Saturday shift seems to be really important when it comes to serving, because, I mean, nobody's working, so you have the opportunity to make up
Saturday
your
and
money.
Sundays are the best days.
Good.
But he has me not hosting, the Expo this Sunday, which means I get paid an hourly wage instead of tips. So I miss out there this weekend. And I have asked not to be scheduled those shifts. And he still does it.
Is it a lack of workers?
No. Because we're fully staffed right now.
Okay. So it's just your boss.
He likes me in the window on Sundays because I don't cause chaos.
I mean, that's a compliment. You're a hard worker and you don't make his life harder. It's a good thing. Working in a restaurant, you need a good, strong expo.
It's the most stressful job in that building on a Sunday. The worst, because you have the kitchen screaming at you, and then you have all the servers screaming at you because they're missing something and the kitchen won't give it to you unless there's a ticket for it.
And there's always something missing on a ticket, isn't there?
So at my job, the tickets go to 2 different places, and those 2 different places don't communicate with each other. So like all of the sides and like French toast and pancakes and waffles and burgers and stuff are coming up from the tickets. And then maybe 5-10 minutes later, the omelets and the skillets are being put up. So if you have both of those on the same ticket, your food's not coming up at the same time. So half the food's sitting in the window while the other half still hasn't been made.
Are you supposed to be the link between that? What communication is that all back of house supposed to?
Yeah, they're supposed to have a middle person that plates all the food. But that middle person, half the time, is the only white guy in the kitchen who does not speak any amount of Spanish at all.
So there's a language barrier in your kitchen.
Yes.
That's gonna add to your stress of being expo on a Sunday in a pancake house.
Yeah. Because then that Tanasis, the head cook, sometimes will come in and start screaming at me to get stuff out of the window, and I can't because it's only half the order. And then I look at him and I'm like, dude, I can't. I only have half an order. And then he'll look in the window and look at the tickets and be like, oh, yeah, you can't. I'm not going to send out a parent's food without having the kids' food.
They normally frown on that one.
Yeah, I know. I would frown on that one. I don't do it.
Oh, yeah. So, speaking of Austin, so we've talked about how Cam has borrowed money. You borrowed from your dad, and you're living with your brother.
Mm-hmm.
So why are you paying rent for a place you don't live?
That's a complicated one. I don't know why I'm still paying rent there. I think it's the fear of making him mad at me, dealing with him screaming. Also, the statements that have been said.
We don't have to get into that. I know that makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
We don't have to go there. Okay. So let's dive in a little bit more to your feelings about how this whole money circle is going. So Cam's already paid you back 100, which
Yeah.
kind of alleviated some.
Right.
So 500 more.
Yes.
Super easy. From that, are you giving a portion of like the 100 to your dad to pay him back, or?
So Cam paid me back the 100, and I borrowed the 200 from my dad after, like, Cam had already paid me back, and I had already used some of that money.
Okay.
So what I have and what I'm going to talk to my dad about is I can send him 50 today.
That's good. That's
and
really
then
good.
just continue to, and typically he's fine with that. I just feel bad because I thought I would be able to pay him back the whole 200 today and be done. But
Well,
I didn't work yesterday.
how life is and what we imagine life should be are two very hard topics.
Yeah.
But the fact that you're paying him back, really, it's a good thing. It's a really good thing. It shows a lot for your character. And it lets people, oh, I lent Bethany money one time and she paid me back, so I wouldn't feel as bad if I lend to her again.
Right.
Dad's always willing to lend.
I know. That's what he's saying. If I have it, I'm always going to lend it to you. And that's how I am with my brother.
If you have it, you'll always lend it.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Because I don't want him to be stuck in a position either. I don't want them to, like, lose the house or anything like that.
So it's a whole big,
Yeah.
you're out, they're both out. That would be...
Didn't want to be put in another situation like that.
Yes. Good.
Ever again.
All right. I think this is a good pausing point. I think we're good.
Yes.
I appreciate your time.
You're welcome.